Hello and welcome to this special program, exclusively to be with Reverend Brother William. Greetings and welcome, brother.
Greetings, my brother.
This is Divine Voice Maris Vocations. You are most welcome. Feel at home.
Thank you so much.
So let us start our conversation by telling us who you are.
Okay, my name is Brother Louis William, FSC. A Salle brother. I'm a Nigerian by nationality, and I've been with the brothers for the past 7 years.
That's great. So there is a scholar man known as George Bernard. He said, "The happy family is back in near heaven." For you, this is another opportunity also to tell us what kind of family did you grow up?
Well, I thank God that I was brought up from a wonderful family where both parents are practicing Catholics, very prayerful, understanding. They are very open people, welcoming to even strangers, and that has actually built me to the kind of person I am today. So I'm a very lucky gentleman with a very wonderful family background, and I'm so impressed with my family because even my journey to where I am today, it is as a result of the foundation they laid, and they also follow ensuring that I always follow the right channel and I become a very better person in the society.
Oh, that is interesting story to hear. So it is said that the cheap origin is better than a costly imitation. Starting with this, what triggered you to join religious life?
Well, religious life, as we know, is a gift from God. Religious life is also as a response to God for the gift He has given every one of us. My first encounter with the religious life was when the brothers came to work in my place. They actually transformed a lot of lives, they touched hearts, and they impacted so much to the locals in my community. As a young man then, I was still in high school, I wandered around thinking and trying to know who are these people. Because there's one thing that baffles me with them. After school hours, they always ensure that they take their kids back home. They were just like shepherds. You will see them dressed with their habits, and they try to make sure that their students were in safe hands. So some of them actually escorted some of these students back to their various homes before they could go back to the community. And from that, my journey to religious life began, and I went in search of the truth to know who actually are these men. So from then, I got to know as I was growing up to know who were these people, and I started asking questions, and I was told these are the Salle Brothers, also known as Brothers of the Christian School. Then from then, I started asking questions. What does it imply to be a brother? And that's when the people started telling me, is this all about religious life? They live in a community, and they also embrace their charism, which is education. So after my school, my high school, back in 2010, that was when my mind was expanded and very open. I started reading some of the documents that was written by the brothers. And from there, I got to know what they do. And before I realized it, I was so much in love with what they do. And then that was how I picked interest and I applied to join the brothers. And today I'm a religious.
Wow, that is a fabulous story to hear your journey towards religious life. Let us move from biological family to spiritual family, which is the Salle Brothers. And Pope Francis said it very well, consecrated life, it is a life, not a survival. Can you tell us about the Salle Brothers?
Yeah, the Salle Brothers, like I said, it is a congregation or an institute for young men who are ready to teach and transform the life of the youth. Basically, what the brothers do is they're educators, and not just educators, they are professional educators. And our work begins from the classroom and ends in the classroom. Outside the classroom, we also try that we inculcate some values in the life of our students. The brothers have existed for 300 years, and they have done a lot of wonders and marvelous things around the globe. We're in 84 countries in the world, 25 in Africa, and the rest in other parts of the continent. So we've tried to educate the people. We try to provide quality education for the young, especially the less privileged among us. And we are so much in love with what we do, and even the church is happy with what we do. We are known because of our charism and what we do, which is education. And you can believe with me that education is a fundamental to everybody.
Yes.
Yes. So that's what the brothers do. That's what the Salle Brothers are known for. We are professional educators.
You have said it very well. Education is a powerful key. Even the nation used to elevate so many people. Another thing I want to ask you, we are told that the consecrated people are meant to bring hope to discourage the heart. Then, for you, what shaped your life view in religious life?
What actually shaped my life as a religious was reading the history of my institute. When you go through the history of my institute, you realize that there are some of the brothers who have some health challenges. For instance, we have one of our brothers, his name is Brother Miguel. He's today a saint in the church. This brother of ours, right from his journey to religious life, he was having one challenge or the other. And at a point, he was crippled. But yet that did not deter him from doing what he was called to do. He see, despite his challenges, his health challenges, he still embraced what he was supposed to do. So when I read such stories about my brothers who have existed before me, I feel encouraged and inspired by their life despite their challenges. So it is one of the things that has shaped my life, that someone who was crippled can be able to go to a classroom and teach and transform the life of the young ones. Then what about me, that I'm blessed with everything? I'm not crippled, but that does not mean I'm mocking those who are crippled. But when I reach and I come in contact with such people, I feel inspired and I'm very happy. And that has shaped me to the kind of person I be. And there's this thing in a religious life commonly known as accompaniment. And in accompaniment, this theory of Juarez windows in psychology is often used, whereby there are some things you see by yourself, there are things that people see that you don't see. And that's why it is referred to as Juarez windows. So at this point, that's why your formators point out to some of the elements, some of the things and the values you have deprived yourself, some of the things you are supposed to do that you have not been doing. So when they point it out, it shapes your life. But it also depends on an individual. Are you open to accept what they're telling you? If you are not open to accept what you are saying, what they're telling you, then there's no possibility that you cannot be shaped or you cannot be helped as an individual. So I think accompaniment and the life of Brother Miguel has actually shaped me to the person I am today.
That's wonderful. It is also said that God calls individuals to a life of communion, love, and fullness. What do you have to say about your call?
My call, I don't see it as a privilege given to me by the Institute. It's divine call. And the reason why I say my call is a divine call was before I applied to join the Brothers, as a person I've wanted to be a priest, a diocesan priest to be precise. But I applied for interview 3 times. The first time, my result was not good. I didn't make it for the interview. The second time I applied, my result was still not good. I didn't make it for the interview. But the third time I applied, my result was okay. But this time around, I was not called for the interview. It was the day before the interview that I was called and I was in a far place. Before I arrived at the venue for the interview was on. And then from there I decided I don't want to be a diocesan priest. I don't want to have anything to do with priesthood. Then luckily I remember that I have known the Brothers. I applied the Brothers once. It took the Brothers up to 8 months for them to invite me for the interview. And before they will invite me for the interview, I had already gotten a job. I was selling phone laptops and I had forgotten about the Brothers. So the call to the Brotherhood came to me as a shock. One fateful morning in my place of work, I was called that I'm supposed to go for an interview. Financially, I was not stable. But one Muslim guy by the name Musa borrowed me 5,000 and I traveled for the interview. I went for the interview. We are 13 of us. After the come and see program, we sat for the exam and we were told by the Brothers that we'll get back to you guys in 1 week time. It took them 3 weeks to get back to us. And I was actually the last candidate that was called and informed has gotten admission. So with that experiences connecting with the assistant stuff that I've applied, I see my call to the brothers as a divine encounter because there were a lot of challenges attached to it. And I was not even expecting. Imagine you apply for something after 8 months before you are called. And the time you are called, you are not prepared. Yet God made a way for you to raise some finance and transport yourself to the venue. And at the end of the day, I'm a brother today. So my call to the brotherhood, I see it as a divine call that was designed and commissioned by God himself.
That is wonderful that your call is a divine call. You reminded me the saying of Brother John Mark Arthur. He was a Protein brother. He said that he was narrating the story how his father told him that you may be only the Bible, some unbeliever will ever read. When I heard that your story, the way you narrated about your call, I remembered that for now, being a brother is a gift we receive, is a gift we share. It has been said by Catholic Church. What did you have to say about to be a brother today?
Well, we are living in a society that is dynamic. Things are changing. A lot of things are happening. A lot of youth have a lot of aspiration. If you remember, back in our primary school and even in our high school days, our teachers often asked us, what do you want to become in the future? And one of those students was asked this question, and one of the time in the class I told him I want to be an engineer. But today I'm not an engineer. Does it mean I'm not fulfilled? No, I'm fulfilled. I'm a brother. The brotherhood is something that people see as nothing. Even Catholics in court don't value the brotherhood. But when you look at the life of the brothers and what the brothers do, you know that the brothers are actually important in the society, not only to the church, but even to the society. And it's through the brotherhood that you see people are proud of Catholic education. Because who are those who are so much involved in education? It's brothers. We can equally put the sisters, they're also into education. But if you bring a priest today, a diocesan priest, or even a religious priest with a brother who is engaged in education, and you put them in class or give them a school to manage, a brother will do it perfectly well. Why? Because right from their formation, they are trained to be great educators. And the brothers also help in the formation of priests. Because some of the priests we have today actually pass from school run by brothers, even in the seminary. Like back in Nigeria, the brothers, the Salle Brothers actually work in St. Peter's Minor Seminary. And they transform a lot of priests. That today, even my bishop is a former student of the brothers. So being brothers is something that people need to be enlightened. Some people see the brothers as nothing. In other dioceses in Nigeria, brothers are referred to as those who wash the soutanes, wash the linens, help in polishing the shoes for the bishop and the priest. But that's not what the brothers are meant for. A brotherhood in the Catholic Church is an institution and is accepted by the church. And that's why it is referred to as what? Consecrated life. We have consecrated ourselves before God and before humanity so that we can be able to render what? Education to the youth. So the brotherhood is a gift and it is very important and relevant to the church and to the society.
You have said it. I will not add or reduce. There is a quote of Mother Teresa I do like so much. She said, "Be faithful in small things, because it is in them that your strength lies." That's the words of Mother Teresa, the recent saint we have in Catholic Church. And now you have been moving from Nigeria, you come to Kenya. Maybe you should have passed another country. What has been so far your missionary experience?
My missionary experience has been wonderful. Like someone once told me that a missionary is someone who has left his father, his mother, his friends, his sisters, his society, his immediate environment, and then to another place. And upon reaching this particular environment, he or she embraces the culture of these people. You can believe with me that leaving Nigeria and a lot of meals and my friends and then coming to Kenya, it is not easy. But as a missionary, when I came here, I tried to adopt myself with what is happening here. Though my missionary journey has not been that easy, because if I would tell you that it has been easy, then I must be a liar. There have been challenges. And one of those challenges is language barriers. Like a missionary I taught in Don Bosco, and most of the students there, they don't understand English. Most of them understand Kiswahili. But it's left for me now to see how I can be able to integrate myself so that I can impact on the student. Remember in classroom, they will tell you as a teacher, you have to what? Inculcate some values in you, incorporate them so that I can be able to transmit to students. give them some practicalities, try to know their interests. This is called what? Student or learner centered. So that you can be able to teach them, and then at the end of the day, you actualize your aim. So when as a missionary, you should be ready to learn. And that's one of the challenges. Because if you don't learn, you cannot be able to know the people. There are a lot of people that are where you are working as a missionary. They want to come to you, but because of some of the barriers like language, even culture, our innovation, this kind of thing discourage them from coming to have one-on-one encounter with us. So, and these are some of the challenges I've been facing. But to God be the glory. Today I can speak little of Kiswahili. Today I can eat chapati and the rest. I see it as a normal meal, and I've embraced the culture, and that's why I'm enjoying my journey here in Kenya as a missionary.
It's so interesting to hear the way you have embraced the culture. There is young ones outside, sometimes see brothers, they don't understand what really brothers means, and they start on their vacation, and sometimes they feel attracted to this life. You can tell them something.
Yeah, what you said remind me when I went to Oka. I think Oka is in the eastern part of Nigeria. That was back in 2017. A priest, a Catholic priest who has been in priest for 27 years. He came to celebrate Mass. We were there for our annual retreat. He came to celebrate Mass and he met us. He was the one presiding over the Mass for the sisters when we went for the retreat. And he was shocked. He doesn't know what brotherhood means. And this is a priest. Then, this type of people, I can't blame him. But because if you look at our major seminary, consecrated life is not taught in the major seminary. And they will not know. Even here in Kenya, there are a lot of people, my classmates in school, they will ask what is all about brotherhood. The only thing they know is sisters and priests. They don't know about the brotherhood. But it is the responsibility of a brother now to enlighten these ones. And the problem now is some of the brothers are not actually proud of their vocation. Some of them are there because they have tried to go for priesthood and it didn't work. And then they say, okay, let me manage it. And that's why when they go to answer some of these questions arising from the young one who is a brother, they don't know what to tell them. They try to hide like, I'm a brother, but as time continues, I will eventually become a priest. But there's nothing bad to open up to somebody. It is what I tell the young ones when they come to ask me about brotherhood, especially those who have chatted me, my friends, they want to join my congregation. The first thing I tell them is, we are brothers, we don't get married, we are not priests. If you want to be a priest, don't join us. This has always been the kind of what I send out to them. So that as they are coming, they know where they are going. And it's the same thing that I always tell my classmates. And most of the time, I have challenge with those who are not Catholics because they don't understand what the brotherhood is. But what I tell them, we are brothers, and our work is we are in education, we don't marry. And the reason why we don't marry is because we are professional teachers, we have sacrificed ourselves so that we can be able to provide quality education. And as we have deprived ourselves of getting married, it enables us to prepare so that when we come to class, we own the content, we can be able to deliver. So brothers are actually not the same as priests, though we don't get married. We live with vows. We live as a community. And that's the difference between us as priests. Some of the priests, like the assistant priests, you see 2 or 3 of them living in a parish, but in the brotherhood, you see many of them living, and they are tolerating one another. So the brotherhood is actually a gift to the society, and in the brotherhood, the brothers enable people to know, not only the Catholics, that people can live together. It's possible, and that's why the brotherhood is. And that's why when you go to some of the communities where the brothers are living, even information house, the least you can see maybe 20. But you see people like in marriage, you have 100 plus, and you are living together in peace. Yes. So you are already passing a message to the students in this school that it is possible for people to live together. And that's why the brotherhood is all about.
I've said it very well. The brotherhood is just giving witness to people what is impossible is possible. Just there is a quote I read somewhere, was written by Indian guy called Paris. He said that I have drunk deep of joy, and I will taste no other wine tonight. That was his words. And by sharing your experience as a brother to all, you can share to us also the joy of being a real brother.
The joy of being a real brother, it actually began in the novitiate. Before I went to the novitiate, there was this elder brother of mine by name Brother Judumba. We met in the postulancy. He picked interest in me. He was ahead of me, and he never lost contact with me, even in the novitiate when I was still in the postmaster. During the outing, he could call, "Hello, brother, how are you doing? How is formation?" He always advised me. My joy is to see in the novitiate. He kept on encouraging me until at last I saw myself in the novitiate with him. I was in first year in the novitiate, and he was in second year. And then the day of his profession, I happened to be the master of the ceremony. I was the MC to anchor on that profession. And I make a lot of jokes because I love making jokes. And like that, time goes on and all of that, they left the novitiate. The novitiate became very scanty. I was only left with my mates. Then luckily we had one of the brothers from Canada. He was one of our formators, and he was sent down to help in the formation here. He always advised us when he comes to class. Before he begins his class, he's always showing us some clips we watch, and there's always music. So the novitiate sometimes become very boring. But when he brought some of this technology and we began class with it, and then he tells us a lot of stories, I was fulfilled and I was happy. But one of the best moments I ever had, for me, was the day I was to be professed. That day I was very happy. And ever since we have been together in the novitiate and the past history, there is no profession that had a lot of people coming for that first profession, like my profession. Because in our novitiate, we only invite maybe our staff and some of the friends of the brother. But this time around, we are advised to invite any of our friends. And our students that were teaching even in Mutuni, they came. Domboso boys came, and I was very happy. And that's where my joy has been. And ever since that, I've learned to work with people. Not people who actually are religious, but even the lay people. So when I see myself with them and the kind of respect and what they expect from me, the way they talk to me, I'm very joyful because they actually respect me and they like me as a brother. So I am very happy that I work together with people and then they always embrace me. And that's how my joy is just like this. Until today, I work with a lot of craft.
That's great being joyful person in the midst of brothers and sisters. So there is another quote also for Van Traki. It is a Chinese guy who said, "Please think about your legacy because you're writing it day by day, every day. In this life of brotherhood, which legacy would you like to leave behind?"
My legacy, as I've always wanted, it's not only to about win a lot of souls. Have I been able to help even an individual? There are a lot of people today when they join their ancestors, their story is forgotten. For people like Mandela, Mandela is still remembered today, even when he's no more, because of the good things he has done. So one of my legacies is when I'm no longer more, will my name be still alive? What will the young ones remember me for? What will the other brothers remember me for? And that's why when I'm given an assignment to do as a brother, I try to give it my best and add a value to that particular assignment. So that tomorrow, when another person is appointed to do that same thing, he doesn't do it the way it was expected. They will say, "Wow, if Brother Luis was here, he would have done better than this." So my legacy is to do something that is right, something that is supposed to be done, something that I know I need no one to remind me to do it. Let me do it freely, willingly, wholeheartedly. So at the end of the day, when I'm no more, people will remember me for that particular thing that I've done. That's the legacy I want to keep as a person.
That's grateful to hear that story. We are ending or heading at the end of our conversation. Do you have any remarks you'd like to pass the audience outside there?
Yes, I've always loved to work with the youths, and that's why I'm a brother, and that's our charisma. But one thing I want to pass to the people out there listening to us is the society we are living today is dynamic. There are a lot of trading issues, there are a lot of things happening. And now, as a person, it is not all about the certificate for those who go to school. You may have a lot of certificate, you may have a lot of qualification, be it diploma, be it PhD, and other kind of educational qualification you ever think of in educational system or educational field. But one thing remains: if you cannot be able to add a value in the society, irrespective of who you are, whatever you have acquired becomes useless. Use what you have learned in the classroom, what you have learned under your bosses, to be able to transform the society. Because we are created for others. Even how you dress for others. Because believe you me, when you are going to a public function, there's a way you dress. Why do you always dress like that? To look presentable. So anything we do as individuals, we are doing it for others. So anything you should do should aim at providing a solution for a particular problem. And that's the kind of message I want to pass out to the people.
That's wonderful. Just, I would like to thank you for availing yourself to come and talk to us and talk to the society at large. I'm sure that this conversation will pass over the world. The thousands and thousands will see it. So thank you very much for sacrificing your time and coming back to us. May God bless you and give you the grace you need to embark this journey towards holiness.
Thank you so much. The pleasure is mine, and I also thank you for giving me the opportunity to have this conversation. I appreciate it as a person, and I know that it will also actually make me to grow to be a better person. And I'm so much happy to be with you this afternoon.
Thank you so much. Welcome. To our audience outside there, thank you very much for having time to follow us. Today I was together with Reverend Brother Louis William from the Salle Brothers. So your comment, your reaction, we are waiting them. Thank you very much. Stay blessed.